Hi guys, Melissa here from A Live Refurbish. In this week's video, we're going to be refinishing a whole bedroom set. Has a huge sentimental value for my customer because it used to belong to her parents once. And after their passing, she just wanted to see if I could breathe new life into these pieces. And oh boy, I think it's fair to say that her and I were both pretty impressed with the results. So if you don't want to miss on this makeover, stay tuned. Here we have piece number one of this high quality set that is a little chunky looking, and we want to soften the look of it by refinishing it in a neutral color and bringing out some of those wood tones. So we're going to start by removing all of the hardware. And because these pieces were extra dusty, we are gonna vacuum them before we even start washing with soapy water. And when I say we, I mean my husband and I. You can see him in action here. He's my helper, my go-to guy. So if you ever see some extra hairy arms or legs here in the videos, those are his. Hopefully so, right? Just a reminder that we clean our pieces before we sand them, because otherwise we can push any of those contaminants into our wood and this could mess with our finish. So to prevent that, we just want to clean everything before we make any repairs and start sanding. I know that I'm going to be putting new hardware on this piece, so from the get-go I am filling all the old hardware holes. Since the top of both dressers are getting stained, they will be sanded to bare wood. The rest is just gonna get a good sanding. I'm sure you saw that both of the dressers have a lot of square areas and details on the drawers that are very hard to sand if I were to do it by hand. But using my sanding system saved me tons of time. Now that everything is sanded, I can start cleaning everything with this TSP substitute. I am so grateful that my husband helped me prep these two dressers, as it is a lot of work, but after I'm done washing here, we're gonna let them air dry overnight so that we can start priming them tomorrow. I'm gonna be spraying both my primer and paint on these dressers. So to protect the tops from any overspray, I'm covering them up with this pre-tape plastic. And just so you have an idea how I protect the inside of the drawers from any overspray, I'm showing you here how I prepped one of 13 drawers. One done, 12 to go. I'm gonna be priming my dressers with this Bean Shellac base primer. Just a reminder to mix your product really well before you use it. The reason why you always want to prime your piece is to block any bleed through. Bleed through are those wood tannings that come out of your wood and filter through your brand new finish, making it look patchy. To prevent that, we prime our piece. For an extra sleek and smooth finish, wait until your primer dries and then do a light scuff sand. Once I'm done sanding here, I'm wiping all of the dust off. I can finally start painting my piece now. I am using this beautiful neutral color from Fusion Mineral Paint. I add a little bit of water to dilute it to the right consistency so that it sprays smoothly with my sprayer. I apply a total of 4 coats. Yes, you heard correctly. It is hard to get one even, smooth, full coverage paint job when you're painting with these very light neutral colors. So just keep this in mind when you are doing your own painting project, or if you are giving somebody a coat to refinish with one of these neutral colors. We're going to be adding a wow effect to these 2 dressers by stenciling the middle drawers. We're using this Redesign with Prima stencil and a beautiful green color from Fusion called Bellwood. I'm also using a sea sponge to apply my paint color. Once I have my marker done, I center my stencil, grab a little paint with my sea sponge, and start dabbing on my stencil. If you are unsure that your stencil will stay in place, you can tape it to the surface, but I find that it's such a small stencil that I didn't need to do that. I want my stencil to look aged and have a little bit of texture on it, and that's why I chose to apply it with a sea sponge. I kept a wet rag handy so that I could keep wiping my stencil after each application. To add a little bit more color to my design, I just decided to paint in between my drawers. As you're gonna see here, on the whited drawers that belong to the tall boy dresser, I decided to make 3 applications of the stencil on each one, and I measure between one application and the next to make sure that they were at the same distance, and follow the same measurements for all 3 drawers. If you got any of the paint to smear around the stencil, this is a good time to make any corrections and just apply some of your base color over those areas. And finally, just to soften that green a little more, I grabbed some of my base color, offloaded most of it, and started feathering what was left on the brush onto the stencil. I am hoping that in this take you can see the difference between where I have done that feathering of the base color and the one that I haven't. The one on the bottom is definitely sticking out more, so again I'm just softening that green. All we have left to do now is take care of the tops. I am gonna be applying a color wash using this very neutral color called Algonquin from Fusion Mineral Paint. I have a wet rag on hand, and I'm gonna be applying this watery mix to 1/3 of my top and then wiping it off right away with my wet rag to create a stain look. Working in sections gives you a better chance to achieve an even look throughout the surface. Now that my color wash has dried, there are some areas in this large surface that have absorbed the color more than others. To even that out, I only need to do a very light scuff sand. I wipe the dust off, and I finally grab a tack cloth to remove any of that dust, not only on my tops, but if there's any fuzzy that landed on this light color before I top coat it, I really want to get rid of that. As you can see, I'm using my favorite top coat, which is High Performance Flat from General Finishes. And for this piece, I am applying 4 coats, just to make sure that my piece is fully protected. Now all we have left to do is to add some pretty cool looking hardware. Should we take a look at what it looks like a brand new set? To be honest, I have brushed off pieces like this before when I've gone thrifting, but after seeing the transformation on these pieces, I can assure you that that won't be happening any longer. I'm gonna be snatching these boys from now on, so watch out for me. As always, thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear in your comments what you thought of this makeover. Please remember to subscribe and to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on what I do next. Don't forget that just like there is hope for these pieces of furniture, it doesn't matter how tough things get, there's always hope for you. Until next time.